Stone wrestling fans in the house tonight. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let your boy tell you why. First and foremost, it's free. Can't beat that. Also, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor's also going to distribute that bad boy for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else people are listening to podcasts. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. But, maybe smoke some first.
Alistair. Hi, Alistair Black.
What are you doing here?
Andrade. Bo Dallas, the king of this place. Shall I kneel?
This is amazing.
What?
Oh, what a good bit. What a good bit.
Hey.
Oh.
Back again, baby.
Oh, it feels
all
good.
three.
It feels good.
3 in a row.
The triple threat
Three
match.
peas in a pod.
The triple
The three
threat
amigos.
dream match is happening again.
The 3 little pigs.
Well,
The three joints that could.
the three joints that could. I like it. But it is us.
I like it.
It's us back again on the 420 Wrestling Hour. High-minded pro wrestling conversation, all the other catchphrases and slogans. I am over easy Kyle Kush, a.k.a. Kushita. And I am smoking Green Line OG because you inspired me with the shake, and I had to
Same.
pick this up
We're on
because-
the same.
Yeah, I was taking in new orders the other day, and I was like, "Wowza! This shake is testing at 34%." I have a feeling they may just be lying about that to sell it quicker, but a little bit goes a long way. So I'm quite enjoying this sativa forward hybrid Green Line OG on the 420 Wrestling Hour. Arium, what's good? What are you smoking tonight?
Yo, what up? It's the illustrious Arium, aka the Canarium, aka the Stone Cold Stoner. I am also smoking that Green Line Shake.
Yeah.
Not to be an advertisement, but Sunnyside still has that shit on sale, and I will be going tomorrow.
Have we ever linked up on strains on the 420 Wrestling Hour?
We have not.
The powers combine.
think any of us have.
I love it.
Our wrestling nerd power is just gonna be like,
Oh my god.
it's just like all over the fucking place. Yeah. What up, JB?
JB Bad. What?
I feel like that y'all like the Wonder Twins. I'm like that weird cat that they had that had absolutely no powers. Like, y'all smoking the same thing. I'm like, well, I got a nice cartridge of. I'm back on the Express to Pineapple. That's how we get down. This is JB Bad, also known as the Doctor of Nugonomics, also known as Belts on Belts on Belts. All right, Nug Life, we in here, baby. All right,
Nug Life. You gotta love it.
Nug Life. Now we smoking back. We back on that Pineapple Express right quick.
Well, welcome back to the cartridge life. I know you had one dance with a blunt.
Actually, I have another one. I was frantically looking for my lighter, but I didn't have time before my intro to find
It's
it.
okay.
So I had to announce I was smoking something else. But I'll go back to that blunt at some point in the show. But I actually have no idea what's in it.
Oh,
but I know it gets you high.
a little surprise.
That's all
what
the
I
fuck
know.
At the end of the
matters.
day, that's all that really matters.
All that matters.
And what also matters is whether or not we got high on some pro wrestling this week. Because I know we watched it, but whether or not it made us stoned is the question we're going to get answered on today's show. It's good to be back with the three of us on this week's episode. We got some listeners back last week. It must have been a good episode.
We did.
Yeah, baby.
Yes.
We heard we picked up a couple extra.
Yeah, right.
And not to mention our most listened to episode since January 25th. But, shit, fuck my high ass just forgot.
It's early.
Just
It's
forgot.
early.
But it was good news that the thing he forgot was good.
It was fucking great.
Yeah. So if you're a
it.
new listener to the show, at 420 Wrestle Hour on Twitter and Instagram, reach out, join the rotation, be on the show,
You
smoke some
you
weed.
could be a guest.
Yeah, if you like to smoke weed and you like to talk and watch wrestling, you found your kindred spirit.
He's got it. He's got
My
it.
ass got
It
it.
came back.
Came back.
Not
around
to
the
mention
station.
all of that, but it was our longest episode, and you fucking listened.
wow.
So we thank you for that. That was our longest
did-
episode by
I
far.
did notice, and it was probably because of me. I think I'm the talkative one because you two did the whole week in wrestling, and it was just just a little over an hour or whatever. And then I came in just with JB Bad to do one show, one pay per view, and we went like an hour 40 or something like that. So that's I think
It was
I think it's on
amazing.
me.
They loved
It's on
it.
me.
They
I'll
loved
take
it.
the L on
They
that.
loved it.
But anyway, we're here to talk about the week that was in wrestling last week, and it was a pretty good one.
And I got some
But
news
before we
for
do,
you first, though. I got some news for you.
The Canaries
Tell us all about it.
are
We-
singing. What kind of news have they brought out from the world of real pro wrestling? Real.
Mighty Molly Holly will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2021. Yes, go Mighty Molly. We love that. We love that. We love that. We love
Yeah.
that. There's some Paul White, Vince McMahon stuff that
Big
happened.
scoop.
Yeah, Paul White said that Vince actually called him the day it was announced that he had signed with AEW, and he wished him a lot of luck. He agreed that he was going to be a fantastic asset to AEW and thanked him for all the years he had worked in WWE. There was no animosity, there's no anger, so it sounds like that was pretty good. And the reason Paul White said that he left was he got a speech 5 years ago that from the talent relations office that told him that he was never going to main event at WrestleMania again, that he was never going to main event a pay-per-view, and then he was only going to be used to get over NXT talent. And he said that was said to his face, and he was like, "There's your fucking inspiration. Now go work hurt." So it was kind of it's been growing on him. I think this switch to AEW. I don't think this was like just a offhanded thing. Like he checked in. Like I think he had been growing a little estranged from WWE.
I feel like there's a more graceful way to tell the big scoop that in WWE, but
the big.
But
scoop.
how I mean how many pay-per-views was this guy going to main event though? At this point,
I'm still saying I wouldn't. That's a brave motherfucker that's gonna roll right up to him and say that.
exactly.
Hey, you must
Truly,
be really
truly.
secure in your job and your jawline to
Yeah.
roll up and say that to that man.
It's got to be there's got to be a
Truly.
more graceful way than just like, yeah, you're here to put over NXT talent, so get out there and work hurt.
That's
Gotta
somebody.
be. But it was nice to hear him and Vince are cool. You
Yeah.
know, and Vince is like chill on that. So.
You know, thank God for that.
Uh,
I'm gonna sleep better at night knowing that these two probably Trump voting rich white
fuck.
men are getting along. This is making me feel real cozy, Ariam. What else in the? I'm not really that negative actually. Oh, good for them. Good for them.
MVP put on a picture on Instagram of Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar having a little confrontation, and he just put hashtag the Hurt Business, and Undertaker put money sign.
Who the Undertaker said that, right?
The Undertaker
Yes.
did, bro.
Yeah, baby.
And he does an Instagram very much, bro. So like to see that from him, I was like, oh shit! Like he says that's money.
Actually,
I think we all know that it's money. That shit
I
could
don't
happen.
know. I think you're right about a lot of things. I don't know. I think the Undertaker is actually enjoying Instagramming a lot more now because
I think so.
I see
Is
him
he?
commenting.
Maybe
on a
I've been
lot of shit.
missing
He
it.
comments on the Godfather's things all the time. The Godfather just
Oh my
posted a
gosh.
hilarious video of like a little kid claymoring his sister, like on act. Like he wasn't like copying the Claymore, I don't think, or maybe he was, but it was just a little candid thing, and the family's like, "Oh my god!" And the girl like kicks her brother's head off. It's very funny.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, Undertaker comments, "Watch out for the big boot," and I'm just like, he's just like a dad commenting on Instagram now. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, I think he's kind of feeling free from the kayfabe now, and he's enjoying it.
Yes, but no, it is still meaningful that he would comment on that post because it is big money. How many more big money Brock Lesnar matches are there besides Bobby Lashley?
That we haven't seen before. Yeah, that's it. That's a big one.
And I don't know if your Canaries brought this.
I want to see him Riddle. I want to see Riddle.
I mean, that's
not happening apparently.
Apparently, it's not happening, but I would love to see that.
Because he said he'll never wrestle him.
And I take Brock Lesnar generally at his word.
Yeah, he's not usually a guy who's
I
trying to work.
I do think that was
He's
genuine.
not really playing games.
That sounded genuine.
Yeah.
But I don't know if did your Canaries bring back the news that essentially the dirt sheets are saying that the WrestleMania card is basically like starting from scratch here as of a few days ago.
I did see that. I did see that.
Which gives me hope
and,
for Brock. Maybe.
Could be. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems weird for them to say that because we do have 2 matches like pretty much decided.
Ugh, it doesn't feel like it to me after watching the week and SmackDown and everything, and we'll get to it. But
okay,
a few of the
enough,
matches
then. I
that
can't
they've
wait to hear
said are
about
like,
that.
this is probably going to be it. I got doubts, and maybe that's the misdirection that they're purposely giving us, but we'll see.
I think they are doing some some purposeful misdirection in the news.
A little bit of swerve.
Yeah, I think they're trying to stay ahead of
Swerve up.
us fucking nerds that are like trying to like calculate it and figure it the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, on the Bobby Lashley thing, that's how I kind of wanted to transition onto, as Over Easy Kyle Kush would say, enough with the real stuff. Let's get into the fake
Yeah,
stuff.
and just to qualify that, because I do watch Young Rock, and you don't say the F word in when you're pertaining to pro wrestling. So, and it's scripted. It's the action is very real, but it's scripted. When I say fake, just as an aside, an addendum, an asterisk. I don't mean fake as in the action. It's very real, boys and girls.
Nah, man, whoop his ass, got Ryback. He means it. Ryback versus Over Easy for the Internet Championship. I'm calling it. WrestleMania weekend.
Feed me more versus feed me less. I'm very full.
It took my mind a long time to figure out who Ryback was again. Just now. But I knew it.
Yeah, he's
just great value Goldberg.
He's around there. He's
Great value.
Aldi Goldberg.
That's insulting to Great Value. Great Value has some quality fucking items. Oh, we've talked about Ryback for too long.
Far too long.
Already.
The almighty champion. We have an almighty champion. Abe.
Dun, 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 dun.
With the lightning bolt.
Can it not
like
remix
Zeus.
though? Can that does that theme song not just like mash up perfectly with Asuka though? Asuka's theme song when it gets to the dun
Oh, yeah.
dun 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 dun.
Hey.
I hear it in my head every time. It's a little too close for me, but I still love the theme song. And what an intro package for the almighty Bobby Lashley this week on Raw.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man.
It was really cool to see. Like I was, I don't know if this is like my skepticism of Vince McMahon, but even Bobby Lashley winning the belt it hasn't sat in that he might like have a full reign to me yet. But this moment where they had this whole video package and the new graphics and they just made him look like a fucking superstar. This was the moment where I was like, okay, the almighty era has begun.
Dude.
I was into them saying that shit. I'm so excited. I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it kind of like, I hope this is how other people feel when he makes decisions like this, so that somebody's happy. But like, this is gonna work because this is someone that Vince sees as a big star. Like,
Yes.
he's not being convinced about him. He's not trying to see the point of a Keith Lee or understand the.
He's always wanted this to happen.
Yeah, I mean, he gets it. You know what I mean? And he really sees Lashley as someone who is a big needle mover. So I think he really is going to throw his weight behind him and not mess with him and do weird shit with him.
Good.
Like, this is a good spot.
And on that, he because we talked about this, I think a couple weeks ago about him being on the mic. He had a pretty good promo this week.
Yeah, man, he's 2 for 2 on these promos, brother. Like,
That was good.
If he does another good promo, I'm gonna have to stop worrying about him in these promos.
Truly, I might be able to sit back.
The track he's
like,
on.
But he started talking, and I was like, oh my gosh, please don't, please, Vince. And then I was like, oh shit, okay.
I refuse
Yes,
to believe.
call the shots, big
I
man.
refuse to believe that we don't have MVP to thank for that. I think he's just helping him with his promos behind the scenes. He's giving him more direction, giving him more character, and it's interesting. It's interesting to see because I would be fascinated to see what kind of reactions he'd be getting if there were a legit crowd. I feel like he'd be getting like full babyface reactions here. He doesn't cheat. He wins legitimately. He's not really doing anything heel. He's in a faction that's pretty clearly like heel, I guess. But I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's they often do that with the heel. They forget to actually make them cheat. They did that with Rusev, like famously.
Sure.
Like all he did was love his wife and his country, and we were supposed to hate him because that country wasn't ours.
Blind
like, what is this,
patriotism.
the 82?
Bullshit.
Like, no, we're not. We don't get down like that. He's fucking adorable, and his wife is awesome. But yeah, man, like he's like they really got something with the Almighty.
I mean,
and his promos sound good because we'll talk about this later with another guy who's I think his promo struggle. His promos sound like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not some words that he wouldn't say. It's not overly verbose or telling jokes that he wouldn't tell. Like if MVP's doing anything, maybe he's helping with
less.
the writers put these promos together in a fashion that suits Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Like his unique voice.
It could be.
You're right. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah, I just found it very interesting. Drew McIntyre responded backstage or something to something Bobby Lashley did or a promo he cut or something. I can't remember. I'm foggy on Raw too, but I think the writing was supposed to tell me like Drew was responding to Bobby Lashley as if Bobby was the bad guy, and after Drew said whatever he said, like no. Bobby Lashley may have had to wait 17 years or whatever, but blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait a minute. Why is Drew acting like the bad guy in this to me? Like, I feel like maybe there's a switch coming or something. But I've been seeing this rocket strapped to Bobby Lashley for months. And the way that they've built him now to be so invincible, I just think they're building him for Brock. It's WrestleMania.
They have to. I just don't want to see anything else.
I'm not really excited about Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley at this point. At all.
I could be more excited. I'm not excited for it right now, but I could get more into it if that was the story they're
They'd
telling
have to
right
start
now.
telling it.
Yeah, but Drew is just so stuck on Sheamus.
Exactly. And
I still think there's time to tell that story. They still got 5 weeks of TV left. Like they got to get through Fastlane.
That's true.
I think a Sheamus Drew opener leaves the rest of the night to start building towards Drew versus Bobby, and there's already kind of built because Bobby did attack him to let Miz win so that he could eat Miz alive and not specifically fight Drew.
that is some heel stuff.
That's a very good
That is still a bit of a heel thing on this. Like I was still unsure about who's the babyface, and I'm willing to just go with Bobby because I'm a fan. But like he did do some kind of underhanded shit to get to the belt. He didn't really want any part of Drew.
I hope they tell the story that way. If they do, then that would signify maybe some.
But that's what Drew said.
Longer term storytelling.
That was Drew's angry point before Sheamus kicked him in the face. He's like, you could have fought me, but you wanted to fight the Miz, you little punk ass.
Wow.
And then he got kicked in the head. I think that's where it'll pick up from when they're ready to clash.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Fair enough.
We'll see.
But you got to build it well though. Like I could be made excited for that. But if you could forsake all of that, if you find out Brock is available.
That maybe what they're treading water, getting to right, trying to figure out. I'm just an adult pro wrestling fan with stars in my eyes. I just want to see the big money match.
Yeah,
but if they tell the right story, I'm in for Sheamus and Drew at WrestleMania if they tell the right story.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that match too.
We could. That's what Backlash is for. That's when Drew can get backlash for what the fuck happened.
Yep.
While Bobby Lashley fights Brock at WrestleMania, if Brock is available, and
indeed,
done body slamming bears, whatever it is he does up there in Montana.
Well, hopefully Vince is up there in Montana right now, and they're ironing this out in the gym. We'll see.
And hopefully his son
Brock.
is okay. Hopefully Vince's son is okay, because
oh my god,
Can we get him? Can we get him a leather strap to bite down on?
He was saying SOS on the ramp. I'm pretty sure just SOS. Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
What was the text y'all sent me? Like,
I think Aaron said, is Shane okay? Is Shane McMahon okay?
like legitimate concern.
Check on him.
Like I googled like, is Shane McMahon like arrested or was he injured?
Oh my
Because you
god!
hadn't watched the show yet.
I hadn't watched the show yet. I was like, did something happen to him in like life? Like
Maybe.
Oh my God.
Maybe. It just
Dude.
seemed like to me it
So-
seemed like the classic, like this guy forgot his lines and he's trying his best to get through it.
Yes, that's exactly what it
But
looked
Dave
like.
Meltzer or somebody
And-
else said like, "Oh, this is exactly how they wanted it to be put across." I don't
That's what I
know what it
heard.
was, and I just refuse to believe that. I mean, what?
I refuse to
That's
believe that too.
ridiculous. Shane McMahon
I
is
think
so
that
cool.
was spin. I think that was spin.
It could be. But yeah, that was bizarre.
it was rough.
Braun
business.
Strowman is. Yeah, I
And
mean,
who is this meant to help?
I like the idea for this match ever since they planted the seed. There's parts of it I've liked. I liked the whole thing, the bit with him leaving and tricking Braun Strowman. I think it's funny that he's calling him dumb and the whole thing with like, yeah, I'm taking this class and I'm reading this textbook. It's a little above your reading level. Just kidding. That to me is real Shane McMahon kind of dick humor. I like it.
I feel like it's putting over Shane McMahon.
Yes,
it is.
everything Shane McMahon does puts over Shane McMahon.
That's the whole point.
That's been the
That's
problem.
the whole point.
That's the
He's
problem
so
with the
cool.
entire thing. Is like Braun Strowman, like
He's a
what?
He's a dumb
Like,
idiot.
Why
They are
is
just
it-
making him look like not only is he slow, but he's just dumb as fuck. Just dumb. Like dude, the way they made him walk around that fucking corner into the darkness, and then Shane
so
came on the
goddamn
fucking screen.
so bogus.
Bro, what the?
He's like
fuck?
tolerating R-Truth's antics in a backstage segment. Like, this is not the Braun Strowman that we once knew.
No.
That dude
monster
used to
among men.
bench press ambulances.
Oh my God.
Now he's trying to get neuralized by R-Truth. Like, you never saw me. That shit was funny though. That shit was mad funny. Like that was some prime
my
R-Truth shit right there.
Bro, he's so funny.
He can do no wrong. I mean, he's untouchable at this point.
Protect R-Truth.
At all costs.
He's so
But I
funny.
think that Braun Strowman, I mean, he's just got that syndrome now. I get maybe it's Big Show syndrome, maybe it's what I mean, it's just
My man's getting Bigelow. That's what he's getting. He's there to get Bam Bam Bigelow, to get beat up by LT, punched by Floyd Mayweather, get dropped punches on by. He's gonna have to sell punches for Shane McMahon.
he doesn't even get a Luna Vachon though.
No, dear Lord.
he gets SNL.
What?
Remember when he fucking like had the fucking segment with Che and
Braun Strowman? Oh, that's right. That's right.
you remember that for
do-
WrestleMania because they were
I do
hosting and
remember
they
that.
had the
They
whole
were, like,
fucking
under the ring and everything.
yes. That's his most memorable moment to me right
I kind
now.
of enjoyed that. I like those. I like the SNL dudes. Anyway.
No, I like them too.
Yeah. So right. Is this still Raw? What are we talking about?
Yeah, I was gonna talk-
34%
And
THC
next
on the
one-
Green Line OG.
I remember when I forgot what I was talking about earlier?
Hey,
Fuck.
it's a weed and wrestling podcast.
Randy and Alexa.
Mm.
I tended to like this segment again. I'm still into this stuff. It's super
Something's
weird.
happening. You know.
Something's happening. The Jack in the Box was very intriguing because it was like, obviously we know what the fuck a Jack in the Box is. Something's gonna fucking jump out. So it's like for me it's an analogy for the Fiend because she was like not yet talking to the Jack in the Box. So I'm like, there's something fucking coming. I'm not even gonna say that I hope that it's gonna be great. I just know it's going to be great.
I like
And
your.
it just has
I
me
like your
waiting in
blind
anticipation.
optimism. I'm hoping. I'm
sure.
hoping upon hope. But yeah, I believe we're going to get a Randy Orton Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania. He's gonna
Cinematic or no?
he's gonna get the same treatment that John Cena's career got in the Firefly Funhouse match, like the career retrospective cinematic match.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about last week. Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think it'll be a cinematic.
Yeah, I think that's what they're angling towards, and I'm 100% down. I don't love it.
No, but it's like
go ahead.
Specifically a Firefly Funhouse because he did because he did a cinematic with Braun where he was just the swamp.
Right.
So you can do different kinds of cinematics, like specifically his Funhouse where he delves into your
It's less about
your actual past.
right. It's less about the the physicality of a traditional wrestling match and more of an art piece, to be honest. And some people
Yeah.
love it, some people hate it. I thought it was the best WWE match of all time. So
No, that's what I was saying. I think that was the one I was thinking of. I didn't even think about the swamp one because that one was like to be continued, and then it never did. So that one was dumb. But they've been talking about Randy Orton and how he's going to be confronted with his past.
Yeah.
You know, and then they had his like run-in with all the WWE legends, and then he had his shit with Ric
Exactly.
Flair like recently.
and I think that's all going
There's
to be
just-
in that.
There's so much shit. Yeah,
I'm glad
yeah.
you don't
So
remember
I'm excited for that.
the swamp match. I'm just proud of your pure spirit for not remembering it.
Yeah, yeah. I had to fucking let
remember
that shit
bits
go.
and
But
pieces.
thanks for ruining my evening.
Yeah, I've been enjoying this ride. Like, Ariam got my mind right about it, and I've just been enjoying this ride a lot more. The more and more it's gone on, just like, yeah, just give me some weird shit.
Yeah.
Let's just do. Let me see your special effects budget, WWE.
Yeah.
What you got?
It's a bumpy ride.
Which they had to show off this week. Did you notice how petty Vince is?
Wait, say what?
He brought out the fucking cane fire.
Yep, his fatty ass.
he may have
Just-
pressed his foot on the gas a little bit.
He definitely did. But then one of them didn't go off. So I was like, joke's on you, you dumb bitch.
Karma, you're fired.
Not Karma. He didn't fire Karma. Holy shit.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. Oh shit.
I love
oh
it.
man. I didn't know Charlie Pride died. I got the Grammys are doing the Everybody Who Did thing.
Oh, breaking
Charlie
news.
Pride.
Breaking
Yeah.
news. Rest in peace.
Breaking news.
my gosh.
The first possibly black ass country singer. Out here dead. So big ups to you, Charlie Pride.
Big ups.
Don't know none of your songs,
Smoke up
but
to you.
there you are, Charlie.
Smoke up to you.
And Toots Hibbert.
You guys want to move on to
I was gonna
NXT?
say, is that,
Let's get it,
is
baby.
that all on Raw? Should we see? We're smoking it out for
think
Raw.
that's all
Yeah,
on
like
Raw.
that was my last thought on the Randy Orton thing. Let's move to Wednesday nights.
NXT got some fucking women's tag team titles
And new
this week.
And new.
And new.
And new.
And now a montage of all the great classic moments of the first ever NXT Women's Tag Team Champions.
Where were
And
you
we're done.
sitting? Where were you when Dakota Kai and Raquel won or became the women's tag team champions, and were you still there when they lost?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was in the
Jeez.
same place.
I hadn't moved.
Yeah, that was interesting. Was it the right call? What do you think?
I think it was fun.
I kind of liked it. I kind of thought the writing was on the wall though. Like I kept seeing Dakota and Raquel be like first ever. They just kept fucking laying into that shit, and I was like, there's something weird about to happen. And then they dropped the belts to Ember and Shotzi, and I was like, oh fuck, like they really dropped the belts, and they even bothered to put the fucking side plates on the NXT Tag Team Championship belt. And so Shotzi and Ember took pictures with the fucking Dakota Kai and Raquel shit. I was like, this was a little intricate. This was nuanced.
Yeah.
I think
Good
that's
stuff.
classic. I mean, it's like when the
It's a dope swerve.
when the newspaper prints the headline like Yankees win the World Series or what was the famous one with the president holding up the
Truman.
thing? Yeah, Truman.
Yeah,
That's
when,
like that. They're holding with the belt. Like you printed this shit too quick. You knew you
Yes.
knew you were gonna book a match right away. Maybe don't put the plates on quite yet because we took them right away.
Damn.
But I like that team. I like them as
Amazing.
champs. I really like these Howlin' Moon girls.
And they really
Yeah.
looked even more cohesive
Yes.
this time than the time before. Like they're just getting better and better and better as a tag team each time out.
Yeah. Big ups to them.
Absolutely. Ember was great.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this, and it's a little mean, but I'm just gonna say it. I wish Ember had this energy at the start of every match. Like the way she started this one, she was like ready to fucking go. And I think it's because she probably knew she was about to, she was taking the tag team titles. But it's like, I need you to be at this fucking pace every match. Like sometimes she just like sits back. I feel like that's part of what's holding her back sometimes.
And just like lack of character, which I feel like she has
Yes.
more of, at least a
Kinda.
little bit with Shotzi. They bring out, there's something there. There's like
The
a
wolf
gimmick.
thing,
Yeah, there's the
yeah.
wolf theme. There's something going on.
It reminds me of that girl from Glow. You guys watch Glow?
Yes. Yeah, I stopped watching it in the last season, but
But like that wolf
yeah,
girl.
I remember
like,
that.
Yeah, really. That's what they kind of remind
Yeah,
me of
let's start
together.
telling a story about how the moon connects us, and we were
Yeah.
both raised by wolves. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there. See
Something.
what sticks. Maybe not the raised by wolves part, but they are the new women's tag team champions. Pretty cool belts. I'm a huge fan of the women having a mid card belt on NXT. They could have their own damn show. I mean, let's face it.
At this point, fuck.
So
Yeah,
I'm
really.
I'm excited to see what kind of shit's gonna go down now with this belt on the show.
Looking forward to it. What do you think about the 2-night takeover?
Ooh.
Oh, I was excited about that.
Yeah, stand and deliver. That's gonna make our job harder.
2-night takeover, 2-night
Yeah.
mania.
Yeah,
That's a
that week
lot of wrestling in one
That's
week.
a lot of wrestling. That'll be a lot.
And we're all going to Florida too, because tickets are going on sale. So now that's
right. We'll be
this
there.
is my
On behalf of the podcast, we're
Exactly.
being, provided.
we are being flown out as press. I should at least apply to see if that could maybe happen. I don't know if there's another like a cannabis wrestling coverage going on, so maybe we would be accepted. You never know. You never know until you apply. Maybe we could get
Be
into the
unique.
White House. You never know until you apply.
I wouldn't mind that now.
Biden's down.
Yeah. Anyway.
What else we got?
Well, we had the other great women's match. I mean, just worth an honorable mention. I think in the same way that the slobber knocker from the Scot and the Brit had, or the Scot and the
yeah,
Irishman, Scott and the Irishman. Yeah, Io Shirai and Tony Storm.
They're just the best. Like Io's the
Oh,
best.
it was just
Tony's so cool.
Tony's
so good.
Tony's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought Io looked so badass, but I was like, I think she could drop this. I was honestly their 3 counts towards like the end had me on the edge of my fucking seat.
Yeah.
Like they took me on a fucking ride with this match, and I was just like, what a dope opening match.
yeah.
Yeah, they're both threats. I mean, you think Tony could win at any time. That's the beauty of this thing. But Io still reigns supreme, and big hearts around that match. I'm high on it.
It'll never be the
And
wrong.
side note,
Sorry, give me that side note.
from Twitter, those wrestling girls had tweeted that like 3 women's matches in one night, and she was like, WWE and all other promotions take note, please. And I was like, oh shit, like that's true. They had 3 women's matches, and all of them were good, like really fucking good.
Yeah, they absolutely should have 3 or at least 3. I mean,
Yeah,
think about the talent.
Oh,
Go ahead.
they weren't all good. The Ali match wasn't
Well,
all good.
I mean, yeah.
it was good.
It was all
It
right.
wasn't bad.
No, but it's cool to have all that time being taken up by women's wrestling. Though.
For sure.
Like they are far and above the one match per show of many shows.
There was great moments this week from the women's wrestling on NXT.
I know we didn't mention this pre-show, but I know you guys briefly touched on him last week. But LA Knight, I just wanted to briefly say that as a guy who started watching the television program WandaVision, and about like 5 episodes in, I realized like I should probably watch more Marvel movies. Because I was not getting a lot of the Easter eggs and references that I thought I should be getting. So I went back and I watched like all the Marvel movies over the past couple of weeks so I could go back and watch WandaVision. I went through a whole journey,
Oh man,
which makes me very jealous sometimes, or makes me wonder why pro wrestling can't grab a little bit more of that like storytelling style of like threading these universes more. It's just so cool. And I know I'm very late to the party, but my point about LA Knight is that this dude is like the Tony Stark of NXT. He's very Tony Stark to me, and I dig that as a kind of character.
That's a cool vibe.
Yeah, it's a cool vibe he has. I'm into it.
I like his cadence.
Yeah, me too. He's just a great talker, and he's very
Yeah.
smooth and quick and dry, I think, and it gives me Tony Stark vibes. I'm into it.
I dig it. I really dig him.
And I love the Marvel movies. We could talk a lot about that too. I'm very late to the party, but I want pro wrestling to take more out of that book now, if it's at all possible.
Like in what specific way? I'll bite.
There's just a few times, especially in the Avengers movies proper,
Okay.
where they're combining all of these characters from standalone movies, and there were so many times where I had a feeling of like there was a moment and of course I watched them all over the past couple of weeks, but I think it was one of the maybe the Age of Ultron Avengers movie, but there was this awesome fight scene going on, very pro wrestling. The
Spoilers
action's
for
great.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah, but a minor spoiler.
No, shame on anyone who hasn't seen Age of Ultron by now. Like it's a
that was me.
decade-old movie.
That was me. But the point is, Captain America had not yet been seen in this movie, and you knew he was coming. But the way that they showed him and the reveal and the way that it fit into the storyline is like a perfect place for him to show up. It just made me be like, oh fuck yes! And I was like, man, I wish more pro wrestling returns could feel like that. Like,
Do you mean Infinity War?
maybe I do mean Infinity War. I don't remember.
Was the bearded Cap?
Yeah, he came back looking
Yeah.
different and badass.
Yeah,
and
that's Infinity
It's like
War.
he had a new gimmick and a new shine.
Yeah.
and a lot of the storytelling in that. I mean, obviously, these are stories that were intricately planned out and had billion-dollar budgets, and it's a different vehicle of storytelling than pro wrestling is. But a lot of the fan base crosses over. Marvel and comic book fans, a lot of them also love pro wrestling. At least that's what I've seen on Twitter and on different podcasts. So there's got to be a parallel. These are like superhero characters that we're watching fight and battle it out. I mean, I'm just the way that these Marvel stories intertwined and elicited the emotions at just the right time. It reminded me of the best of pro wrestling. We just don't get to see it enough.
Weirdly, like the best of the MCU reminded me of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Like in reverse. Like I always talked about
Wow.
with my wife, like how the booking for Black Panther and the booking for Wakanda, they had to make Wakanda look strong because Thanos had to come in and destroy it. Like,
Yes.
And now after Infinity War, it's like, okay, now we got to book somebody to go up against Thanos. That's Captain Marvel.
Right.
Like, there is a lot of overlap in the overall like booking of these stories.
That's how I was
Good
thinking
shit.
about it as, and it just made me, I don't know, it was just so good that it made me just wish I felt those emotions more when I watched pro wrestling, and sometimes it feels more of like, I got to get through this show because I'm going to talk about it with my friends. But every once in a while, like several times during AEW and several times on SmackDown, especially at the end, I had those kind of emotions of like, oh shit, yo, I'm into what's going on here, and I just wish I could feel that way all the time. Like when I'm watching a Marvel movie that's like 3.5 hours long, but it feels like it's 5 minutes because it's so fun,
Show you right.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a Marvel tangent on NXT. Because LA Knight, thank you LA Knight for inspiring that Marvel sidebar.
I just wanted to say that I'll take my apologies whenever you guys are ready. I told you Karrion was coming for this damn belt. I told you.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll eat the crow on that.
Yes.
I told you. And we all gonna be happy about it. I know I just skipped the main event, but it's all related, so just stay with me. When him and Finn Balor were looking at each other at the end of that fucking show today, or show Wednesday, I was like, holy fuck. I'm so ready. Take that belt from him. This is the perfect person to take it off Finn. Because I was like, I don't know who's gonna take it off of him at this point now.
Dude.
I'm down.
What did he say? He's like,
What took you so long?
What took you so long? And he turned. Oh man, it's so good. Yes,
Finn
yeah.
is so damn cool.
Another. That was a great moment. That was a Marvel moment right there. It was great. Mm-hmm. That was good booking. The ring was cleared, and he turned around, and ooh, yeah, that was good stuff. Real good stuff.
And they also set up Kyle and Adam Cole.
Yep.
So perfectly.
It was a great ending.
There was
great
a lot
ending
going
to the
on.
show. Really great.
Yeah.
like all the moving pieces. Yeah, like I'm excited to see what Kyle's gonna look like going forward. Like we touched on it last week. Roddy Strong was the one person I didn't care how they came out of this looking, but I really just want to see just even how Kyle's gonna comport himself. Like when he wins the title, will he still play air guitar? Like does he still sell the same way? Like I wonder. So I have so many questions about the new Kyle O'Reilly that I can't wait to have answered.
Me too.
That's amazing. Love that.
Yeah.
Was that everything?
Also, just a dope match.
Yeah, dope match. Yeah, you know.
Don't let me pass over that. I mean, I know that we become kind of used to that on the main event of NXT, but it was a great fucking match. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's about what it's hard because it is what I expected it to be, which is fucking awesome. But it's a hard bar to pass. Like for it to go above that, and maybe it's not the place for that. You gotta have something to build to.
Yeah.
It's like it feels like Finn Balor is like, okay, I'm here, I'm the champ. Let me put these cats through some New Japan clinics. Like let me put everybody. Let's give everybody a classic, like right quick before I bounce up to the main roster again. Like it's some dope stuff that he's doing with all parties.
Yep, I agree.
I'd be excited to see him back up there too. That'd be dope.
Shit. Finn Balor could be wrestling for something at WrestleMania.
Oh shit, he could, especially if he loses his belt to Stand and Deliver.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, whatever.
That would be like too soon to put him in Mania. But I'm just obsessed.
The next day.
Oh, sure.
The next day, exactly. I'm just obsessed with him getting that Universal title belt. It's the story that I'm dying for. Because Finn's not getting any younger.
No, he's not.
So let's do it. Yeah. Anyway, anything else on NXT? Did we skip anything worth talking about?
I mean, like Pete Dunne came back looking vicious upside Jake Atlas's head.
He did.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
There's drama with TNT and Imperium.
I was going to bring up, are we intrigued by the Timothy Thatcher possibly joining Imperium? I know they teased the dude. God, why can't I think of him now? I love the funny tag team. The big dude and the little guy, Drake Maverick and
Killian Dane.
Killian Dane. Yeah, they teased Killian Dane joining Imperium a couple weeks ago too. Did you guys catch that?
I don't think they teased that. I think it was just a reference to them being Insanity.
I didn't even make that connection. Never mind. I didn't
just like
even
an old throwback,
make that connection. I thought they were like,
Didn't you used to be tough?
That's right. Wow. Anyway, yeah, so this is about Timothy Thatcher possibly joining Imperium. And I'm intrigued by that. He fits the mold. They need an American representation, I guess.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm injured.
Is it time for that?
Oh yeah, bitch! It's time. You know it's time, baby. I was taunted. I was teased. He cradled the balls. He worked the shaft, and now it's time for the goo. It's time for the Impact Minute, baby.
2, 1, go.
Here we are. We coming off Impact Minute. It's time. Coming from the Impact Driver. Coming bow back in your mouth, even after the nice ball cradle. It's time for Impact Sacrifice. This is where Miss Thick Oration, Thick Mama, Thick Pumping, Thick Old Thickety. She had a match with Jazz against Fire and Desire, or whatever the dadgum name is for the Impact Knockouts title. Was really nice. Jazz and Grace weren't able to get the job done, so we're going to build towards the match versus Jazz and Jordan Grace. It's going to be real cool. Then after that, we have new
30 seconds.
New Impact World Champions. The Good Brothers lost the belt to Finn Juice. Finn Juice is the champion. This is pretty dope shit. And then after that, the main event, let me slow it down for you. Moose versus Rich Swann for the TNA versus the Impact World Championship. What a match. You need to go see this match. Moose running up the turnbuckle for a fall-away slam, holding Rich Swann, but Rich Swann wins the Impact titles and the TNT title, going to fight Kenny Omega for the AEW titles. It's going to be a barn border. Can't wait to see because the Forbidden Door is open because we out.
Bam! That was,
bang, bang, baby.
That sounds like a pretty good...
It's impressive. Honestly, it's impressive.
That was a lot of shit.
You fit a lot in there.
A lot
My
happened.
high ass could not. My high ass could never.
And you know what? I didn't even prep that one.
Wow.
I'd be
even
like-
more impressive.
Somebody lost the belt.
Somebody who did the thing
Jordan Grace was there.
and still thick. That's the thing. Is,
And still thick.
Whenever you get lost, you just go back to Jordan Grace being thick. Like that's because you know that happened.
Yeah.
while your
Undeniable.
mind remembers what else happened on Impact, you're like, and remember the thickness of Jordan Grace. Can we have a moment?
Oh my gosh.
No,
Oh, that
but
was
yeah, that
classic.
Moose match and Rich Swann was really cold.
Wow.
And also just check out Ace Austin versus TJP. Just check it out.
I'm gonna
Watch
have
those
to.
two matches
and I can't.
if you have time.
I can't believe the Good Brothers dropped the titles to the Juice.
To the Juice, Finn Juice. The Finn Juice is
Wow.
loose.
So the stuff is happening on Impact.
Loving it.
So in
Loving it.
the future, I think because you didn't take the bait quick enough on that, we're just gonna. You can do the Impact Minute, but it's gonna happen at a random point in the show. That one of us will just be like, yeah. So yeah, we're talking about and Impact Minute now. So
Okay,
you're just
I'm
like
down.
off
I'm down.
guard. And you never know when it's gonna hit.
I accept that challenge.
I love it. Right on.
All right, shall we move to AEW?
Let's move on to this beautiful show.
Yeah, because the only thing that had more impact than Impact Minute was that first motherfucking match between Ray Phoenix and Matt Jackson.
You just knew.
Building off of the match between Ray and Nick from a year ago. Like,
Yep.
this was a wonderful way to start.
I can't help but think these guys were like, let's go out there and make them completely forget about the Finnish Revolution. Like, they were out there and I was just like, this is such a fucking good match. Matt Jackson had a beautiful elbow drop.
Just soaring.
Ray
Soaring.
Phoenix did this like super kick and then did a kip up. And I was like, they were just fucking showing off. Truly. Like, it was just beautiful to watch these two dudes just like work. Just go out there and fucking work.
Like, the Young Bucks get accused of being too spot monkey-ish, but when they feel like just spotting it up, man, can they ever? Like,
and well.
and well. Like, can you imagine just
man.
dropping this match in the middle of like 93?
No.
You know, just
No.
just dropping it on a random Survivor
No,
Series and just
Jim
like,
Cornette would have a conniption like, did he just kick him, knee him in his head and then pile drive him? What the hell? He can't. He never. He would, what the fuck?
Jesus.
He would,
I can't wait to listen to that tomorrow.
he kneed him in his head and then pile drived him. What the fuck? Yeah, that would be. He doesn't like that.
It would not
Oh,
be.
man.
Yeah, well, no. There,
Oh
I
my
think, yeah,
gosh.
you got like what did he kip up from? Did we just talk about this?
It was the super kick
Yeah.
into another super kick. He goes down, kicks up, does his super kick, and falls over.
Killing the business. That's what it's all about, Jim Cornette.
What a way to die.
Oh my god. Young Bucks killing the business. No, but I see it's the kind of I like it. Sorry, Jim.
Absolutely.
It's so
Sorry about
good.
it.
It's so good. And I think about it all the time watching AEW. Like how much of the action just is different because they can do pile drivers, because they can drop people on their heads. I mean, it just feels it feels different.
Feels different and kind of dangerous in a good way.
It's
if you know how
why
to do it.
it's why I used to pay for the New Japan Network like 4 years ago when it was a more like fringe thing. It was like, oh, see, they like drop each other on their heads. Or it's really cool. Like,
Oh my
see, like
god.
in their training in Japan, they have to like fucking fall on their necks, dude. It's like they build up their necks. That's why I watch that pro wrestling. And people are like, why would you want to watch that? I'm like, it's just because it feels more real, but it's not real, but it kind of is real. I don't know. It's awesome. And they're in briefs. It's a weird thing to explain. I just like it.
And they're in briefs. I hate you so very much.
Yeah, most of the time.
I love what happened. I love Cody Rhodes going in there with Penna. I just kind of like how that whole thing came together.
I did
felt
too
very
with the
old
with the
school wrestling.
translator, and it was great.
Yeah.
Great shit.
Yeah, I like
Penta
that a
can
lot,
talk,
yeah.
man.
That was
Oh,
super
he's
good.
so good. You guys gotta watch Lucha Underground. He was so good in that. Anyway,
Miro is the greatest wrestler of all time, and he does great stuff all the time. So we should move on exactly to the next thing. Nope, no go backs, no going backs, no going backs, no go backs.
I'm
no
sorry.
Go backs.
I'm sorry. Who?
His name is Rusev. Rusev.
Okay,
Rusev Day.
so
Krashka. He's the baby boy.
let me tell y'all something. So last Sunday, JB and I got on here and we were recording last week's episode, and I was talking about how Rusev Miro is in no better place than he was in WWE. Like, he's still doing fucking wedding segments, so it doesn't fucking matter. And JB was like, you know what? He had a great fucking outing at Revolution. Things may be different. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take your advice, JB. But now I get to fucking say it. What is he doing? I don't care if in the last 2 battle royales on pay-per-views you looked awesome and you looked aggressive. When it comes to Wednesday Dynamite, you don't do shit. You're not in any storyline for real. What's going
he's
on?
about to have a video game match, right?
Yeah, the video game match versus Orange Cassidy.
That's such a big
The arcade
That's main
match.
That's main event kind of stuff.
They're gonna put video games around the ring.
He took
and
it,
wrestle.
ladies and gentlemen of the listening audience. He has removed the glasses. He is scratching his. He's itching his eyes. He's scratching his eyes.
He's looking for purpose.
He's
trying to find himself, looking within himself.
He's squinting
to find himself.
inward.
Like, he has never looked more like a dad,
It was very
like
very
a
much
disappointed dad.
Let me just. He tried to talk and he was like, Wait, "I gotta take my glasses off for this."
The boy, tell me why. You done come in here at 2:30 in the morning.
Oh my god! It was just that energy.
That's
Just that energy.
That's amazing. I have no further comment.
Oh god. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
how do we?
Cody is cool though. You're right. Cody is cool.
We strayed far from the path.
We
I
did. We
think
definitely did.
The sound quality for the Ethan Page match was wonderful, and I
Oh my
can't
gosh.
wait to go back. What?
I heard about that. I didn't watch it live, so I think they had fixed
Well,
it
NBA.
on
shit.
the app
Well,
by then.
NBA
I
action.
watched NXT
Yeah, they just
live, but I
tuned
heard they had
in NBA.
NBA.
I don't know what the hell was going on. Lost in the wilderness.
I heard they had like defense, Ethan Page, defense.
It was so confusing. I was like, "What is?" I thought my earbuds were messing up. It almost made me fast forward the match because I couldn't take it. But I'm like, no, this is Ethan Page's debut. I want to give it the love because it's Ethan Page, and fuck him. But
He looked great. I mean, I know y'all have y'all beef, but he looked great. That Ego's Edge, that looked cool as shit.
yeah, that throwing Razor's Edge, yeah, that does look pretty cool.
Yes.
How different is
We
that?
fight.
How different is that from Lance Archer's finisher?
Lance, you're facing forward and he flips you down.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
I got
so
you.
it's further and he slams you, and Ethan gives you a nice launch.
Yep, I can see it in my head now. Appreciate it.
And Lance is going to be doing that to Sting, so we'll see how that goes.
Wow, that was interesting
So-
as well.
Yeah, I guess we're done with the smiling baby face carrying cross, huh?
Carrying Cross, what?
No,
The comparison.
comparison. We're done with that. He's going back to being the murder hawk.
I guess so.
Sorry about it.
Oh,
So we were having a discussion before about how they made up for Revolution, the dud that was.
Yes. So this was
Yeah.
the attempt at the recovery. But this was
Attempt-
this was the question. I had the feeling that they were gonna, you got a game-winning shot. Who'd you giving the ball to when you got it when the show is on the line, and you gotta get a promo to iron this out? You're gonna give the ball to Eddie Kingston. And I thought the wrestling logic that they used was perfect. So right off the bat, I'm like, I'm okay with this. It's like PTSD. It makes sense. So I was all right with it from there. But I remember while we were talking before the show, Ariam, that we may agree that they should have just left it there as far as giving a rationale for what happened, because I believed it. But then when we went all the way to the promo with Kenny and the invisible hand, that's when it got to be too much for me.
Absolutely.
They should have just left it.
Yep.
Especially if you're going into a Christian Cage program anyway. Just forget about the death match. Make one comment about it maybe, but it was too much after that. I agree with you, if that's what you were going to say.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I loved the promo from John and Eddie. Like, I just thought it was great. They were like, Impact paid for the bomb. I thought they were just having a good time, just fucking drinking, just being like bros. I loved it. I was like, at least they're having fun with this walk back or recovery or whatever you want to call it. But then Don came out later, and I was just like, no, you can't. Now you can't say like, that was just a fuck up, like we fucked it up, and then like, oh no, like we did that. We did that. We made that happen. We made it fucking like a dud. And then the other thing that just kind of pissed me off is like, Tony Khan was saying that was exactly what it was supposed to look like, and then Don Callis is saying it's rigged. Now it's part of a storyline, and it's just like, it's too much. Just choose one and go with it. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, really, like. You know what I mean? It was too much.
Yeah, I agree. What'd you think, JB Bad?
Now, for me though, the Eddie Kingston John Moxley promo, I didn't hate it because I love everything that Eddie Kingston does. It didn't work as well for me. You know what I mean? I kind of felt like Eddie was laying it on a little thick for my taste. Just a bit thick.
I get it. I get it.
He just I'm like, bro, man, it was embarrassing. Like, it was real embarrassing what happened to you. You looked silly. And then when he really tried to make it one of those dramatic Eddie Kingston, it's not like it didn't work because I'm on Eddie's side. You know what I mean? So, like, even when he lays it on thick, I'm forgiving towards him. So for me to say that it didn't work I'm not saying it was a bomb. It's just like, it wasn't everything. It wasn't the only explanation that I needed hearing from Eddie. I did need to hear, at least from where I came from what happened on Kenny's side and what happened on the I guess the Bullet Club side of the matter. So the story, if Eddie's story satisfied you completely, then I guess maybe you didn't need to hear any more. I needed to hear more after I heard him talk.
I didn't need to hear more. They didn't want for it to go that way. I don't need to be spun.
I know, but the thing is, I wanted to hear, but since they were spinning, I wanted to hear the champ spin. I wanted to see him twist in the wind or try to make something of it. I heard Eddie's side of it. I wanted to hear the champ side of it, kind of like the interview after a big fight. Like, okay, what happened with you? And I enjoyed kind of that they were trolling so damn hard. It was annoying as fuck. And since I wasn't like supremely satisfied with the Eddie promo, there was room for that for me. They came out, they wouldn't take responsibility for the obvious fuck up that they had, and they're like, no, we meant for that. Like, no, the fuck you didn't. Nah, we won't even tell you if we meant it for it to happen. No, Eddie, you look like a big dummy laying on it, because that's what I thought. I'm like, yeah, Eddie, you did look like a big dummy playing dead over Kenny. And they just kept twisting the knife, and it was another fun side of it. And then Eddie comes out playing it like, you know, motherfucking Michael Caine in Muppet Christmas Carol, and like, I enjoyed it. I'm like, Eddie, punch him in his smug, shit-talking face, which he did. You know?
Yeah, that was cool.
That actually recovered the segment for me when Eddie Kingston started brawling, and then John came out. Like, that was the part that I liked of it. But like the vaudeville, like, you want to talk about vaudeville comedy, like the 69 Me shit, like, what the fuck is going on?
Me either. What was
in the aerial fucking view? Like, fuck off, bro. Get off my TV. I'm watching 9 hours of wrestling a week. Let's speed past it.
That's it. And maybe I spent, without telling too much, I spent a long amount of time today of this week in a hospital dealing with some medical stuff. So I was cracking up when he said 69 Me. Maybe I was delirious.
Hey, no, point. See, this is the perspective that I appreciate hearing from other people who watch the shows and have different perspectives. it's different for everybody. And I've watched things in one mood and loved it, and watched things the same thing in another mood and hate it. I just it wasn't hitting for me in that moment, but it's very DX. Like
that's what it felt
if that
like.
would
To me.
if that would have
It felt very
happened
DX.
in DX in the Attitude Era, I would have like 69 me. Did you see that? The next day we would have been loving that. So I don't.
Absolutely. That's because DX was DX. They don't do DX shit.
I mean,
What are you talking
was
about?
so-
Remember when didn't they have to edit the whole Good Brothers because they kept doing sucking and ejaculation?
I was gonna say, like, they're kind of
signs, like they're sophomoric as fuck.
that's kind of the Bullet
Like-
Club thing. It's like they're leaning into
Huh?
that, like Attitude Era faction thing.
I think
All right, well, maybe I'm seeing it slow build, but like I didn't know that they were doing that much.
Yeah. I think the main difference between where I saw it and you guys saw it is the Eddie promo didn't satisfy my story completely. So there was room for more story for me.
Yeah,
Like
There wasn't a story. They just fucked up.
no, I mean the story of the fuck up. I wanted to hear more
yeah.
from the other side, but because Eddie's story didn't satisfy me.
I understand
mean?
why it didn't
Yeah.
satisfy you. I mean, I guess I just like I took a leap in logic and I liked his passion, so I believed it. But it was just kind of like
Yeah.
I was in jail, but I it was like, and it was and I was reminded when that time when I was in jail, and that was just kind of it. And I was like, I mean, it's wrestling. You can make something up like even
Yeah.
more badass, like a near death experience or something that would parallel like the thought of like laying on your friend on a pile of dynamite, like something that like, that time you took the fall in that fight on the streets and, the guy had a gun in your head or what, make it real. So it's like, oh shit, fuck.
Yeah.
Now I believe why you passed out. Oh my God. But I just took
thought
a,
it was
So for me, I think that's where we differentiate
Yeah.
over Easy. I think that's where we differentiate is because I didn't want any story.
Okay.
Like for me watching it, I was
on.
like,
Oh.
they fucked up, and
Okay.
everyone knows it was a fuck up.
Okay.
But then when I got to that promo, that segment, for me, what it was like, this is Eddie Kingston and this is John Moxley hanging out after that fucking show, drinking some fucking whiskey and being like, yeah, man, it was what it was, man. Don't give me too much shit. Like, all right, man, chill. Yeah, and so it operated in that way for me. And watching it through that lens, I was like, oh, these dudes are just hanging out, and they're like, man, that sucked, didn't it? But we're gonna keep moving forward. Let's go.
And that is an entire.
And it was
that's
fun.
That's a really astute point. Like, because I specifically, from my mind, tuned in to see what they would say about the dud.
yeah, story-wise, how they were going to make it
That
make
was
sense.
the story for me. That was the main tune-in point. Like, what are y'all gonna say about this dud? And maybe this is part of Impact. They even teased a response to it on the Impact paid performance, paid ad. So they kind of tipped their hand that we're gonna address this.
Yep.
On Wednesday. So I really had tuned in to hear everybody talk about it.
I get that
So
too.
but if you thought they were just gonna move on, like I see what you mean by that. No, I feel you on that one.
Yep.
But you
they're-
know what we're gonna move on to
Yeah,
though?
they're moving on one way or the other.
They're moving on. And you know who else is moving on? MJF. What a drama.
Dude, we were talking about this on our AEW coverage last week without Ariam, but it's a great conversation which speaks to this. The factions on this show. We were just talking after Revolution about how I think the main difference in why AEW is maybe better at storytelling overall than WWE is because they use factions as a device so much. And now they've made another big one. It's just
But they got a faction at the top of both shows on WWE.
yes, I'm not saying they don't use factions, but not as effectively and not on every card. It's like it's the way that the factions elevate the mid card on AEW for me, with Dark Order, and there's not as it just seems more like it's more focused in the way.
I think for me it busies a lot of it up. Like there's a lot of people that don't need to be on screen. Specifically when Dark Order comes out, I'm like it just looks a mess to me. But that's just
It's a little
aesthetic
jumbled,
thing.
but
it's a little aesthetic thing for me.
I think like this is the strong like this kind of we touched on last week, but like I think this is really the strong point because you know who these wrestlers are based on their relationships with each other.
Yes.
Like that's how
That's a
you
fair
get to know
point.
each other.
Yep.
Like people floating in isolation, kicking random ass and doing finishers, then walking back. You don't get to know but one side of them. But like seeing them have friends, seeing them have bonds, seeing them hang out like this guy, seeing them in their downtime, like that helps us flesh out and form attachments to these wrestlers. Like that's the whole charm behind Johnny Hungy, his relationships with everyone within the Dark Order, and like that's
Yeah, I think maybe, but yeah, for me, he's interesting, even if a few of them didn't come out.
But say like with in a world it's a weird. It's kind of what I'm saying is like it's his involvement with them that makes him who he is. It isn't so much what he even does in the ring. It's his relationships, like taking them away and deciding which ones are important, or he needs a couple less of them, maybe, here or there. But just overall, it's the fact that he is known as a person who has relationships, and they all are. Hangman is known by his inability to have these relationships.
Will he? Won't he?
Yeah, like
Can somebody get him, tame him, whatever? Yeah.
Like these are the things that make up the drama of our show, and these are the things that make up the drama of a human life. Like who are you friends with, who are you working with, who are you dating, and you just jumble that over and over and over again. Turn the volume up and down, and that's life.
Yep.
Like that's you don't float around in isolation just doing gigs and jobs. I really like the ecosystem they build with that, and like this drama couldn't unfold in any meaningful way other than the way they did it right here. Like great stuff. This the double swerve, They built us the
was
whole
beautiful.
way MJF taking over the Inner Circle.
That's where it got weird for me. The double swerve. I thought it looks like you guys are in disagreement, but yeah, I thought it was one swerve too many.
Oh wow.
I was like, so you mean to tell me MJF was setting up Jericho the entire time, and then with Sammy Guevara's video, and then he knew Santana and Ortiz and Hager would actually join him, wouldn't actually join him? Like, you mean to tell me that he knew that he was trying to swerve on Jericho, but then he also knew that the rest of the Inner Circle wouldn't have come with him,
I think. Yeah.
and then he also had another faction coming out. I was like, that's a lot. That was a lot of suspension of disbelief.
MJF.
I think that's just one. I think the plan was always going to be with them. Like he's the new booty. He the new booty, man. Like he can't take over the Inner Circle, but he can definitely sow that discord, open them up. He weakened them. He got Sammy out of there for a little bit. Like he wreaked some major havoc. And then
yeah, I think this is how I'm gonna put it, because I agree. Like I don't hate it from a story point. I think it's great for a story point. What I feel like should have happened was they should have done one the next week or 2 weeks after. I think they could have just done the segment B, MJF fucking tried to turn on them, and then they just beat MJF's ass, and then next week he has this other faction that shows up. It was a lot to fucking all happen at once.
But yeah, I feel you on that one. But it doesn't make MJF look quite as badass as he does at this exact moment.
Mastermind.
It made him look omniscient.
I don't know. I don't think it's omniscient. I just think I think it was always going to be them. But if he gets beat up, it looks like he sniveled and ran with his tail between his legs, and he came to them begging.
Yeah.
The way he was perched up on that turnbuckle, just looking down at them like a drag queen. It was the greatest.
Yeah. See, I was a mark.
You
a fair
can't do
point.
that if he's on the back foot.
Right. That was my point. I was a mark in this situation. They had me worked when he started essentially crying in the corner. I was like, I thought this was the end of the show, and I was kind of thinking they got MJF on the ropes here, looking like a real dweeb now. Man, I feel like MJF had.
But I thought that's who he was.
I feel like he had a bigger plan in mind. He's just that villain who I think he's smarter than just being a chicken shit heel. I was like, I feel like there's a bigger story here, and I wouldn't have minded long-term storytelling if they would have taken it a little bit slower. But I just thought the way that they did it was so effective, because right when he's crying is when I was like, I don't know if I'm into this, and then his face turns and I'm like, wait, what's happening? And the lights go out. I'm just like, this is great. That's pro wrestling to me. Like, if it just took it that extra.
You're right. If I was there live, I would have been fucking into that shit.
But
you're probably
it's soap
right.
opera. That's the drama that
he
I
is
want.
the soap opera.
Maybe it's
Yes, he is.
Maybe my like expectation of it needing to go longer isn't right. It just was what I like expected to happen. But now that you're talking about it, I do feel like I would have loved this shit live, and I would have been fucking marking the fuck out.
I will say, better announcers would have served it better.
I mean, but were there announcers? Like I don't remember announcers at all. It was just him.
Yeah.
Like they did what they didn't want them to do. They did what they should have done. The damn Sting match at Revolution. They shut fucking it up. Like they let the action speak for itself.
I think I don't
remember.
I think I'm more
damn
remembering
word.
like when they came back in after the action and when I was like on a wrestling high, and then they were like,
Okay.
"Well, what was going on there, ladies and gentlemen? We'll see you next week." And I was just like, "Oh yeah,
I hate you.
it's
I hate
wrestling.
you.
It's just a wrestling."
Go.
Bro.
I guess we'll see you next week.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Tony this week said that Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker have one of the most intense rivalries in AEW, and I was like, "Bitch, where? Bitch, where?"
They wear suits. That's what the announcers
Hey,
wear suits.
now, I think the women's division took a giant step forward this week.
I'm with you. on that.
That was a lot of fun and a lot of different styles coming together.
Yeah.
In a way, I could see a fan who might be flipping stop at that and go like, "What's this?" and put the remote down and watch the whole match. Like it was so much fun, the different styles and personalities clashing. Like very colorful, very unique. I could see like AEW's division looking like that as like an aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I will agree. The color was beautiful. I definitely loved the aesthetic of all the different colors of everything that was going on. I loved the match. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was exciting to see what's like to come. There were a lot of different paces, which didn't bother me too much. I was just like, there was just so many different styles, as you said, was going on. I will say one thing that they're just struggling with right now is like, I just don't know anything about any of them.
Well, Maka Ito is the cutest in the world, and we must all bow to her. Know that, like you know the sun's coming up.
She was adorable, but this is
the
problem.
cutest in the world.
Her little microphone on the head hits.
She kept singing as the match started. I forgot. Oh my god.
Oh, well, that's the whole bit. Yeah.
I forgot for a second.
The match, they're beating each other up, and she's still up there.
She's still
full
singing.
commitment. I'm in 100% for that.
Sorry, I forgot about that.
It deserves to be said.
Go ahead, Ariel. My bad. I had a stroke.
The point is, where they are struggling is that they're not really giving any of these ladies like actual good writing. They have a lot of great stuff going on up at the top. And I'm just like, man, why is the writing not the same? I don't know shit about anyone. She has been the AEW World Women's Champion for how long, and I don't know shit about her. Nothing.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's not what you want. But like I said, today was a first step, I think. A big important step.
It was a great match, but it's like I want to know these 6 women.
Well, I mean, I think this is how you got to know them. Like you saw a lot of personality from them in this match. And
I sure hope so.
For half of the people in this match, promos will never, ever, 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 ever be their strong point. So this is where you're gonna see their personality. Like Maka Ito's not gonna do promos for you. Shida doesn't do promos. Rio's not gonna do promos. So this is where their personality will come through. And it really did in this match. So I think it was important to do that. If you're ever gonna gravitate to them, it's within the ropes for these 3 particular characters.
Yeah.
Not doing promos, that's a lot.
Well,
For somebody at the top of your division,
yeah,
that's not good.
But that's
not good.
But that's gonna have to be the style. Like we're gonna have their style isn't gonna be the WWE or the Knockout style. It's gonna be this style. It's gonna look like this, I think. And if they master something that looks like this, it could be interesting. I don't think it'll ever look like what happens in WWE, but let's see what they can do that's different. You know?
Yeah, definitely. I want to see more Jade and Red Velvet too.
I don't know. Yeah, the in-ring wrestling's not interesting enough for me to not hear these women speak. Something's got to happen.
Well, Maka Ito and Rio gonna have to learn English then.
Could happen.
Not fast enough.
I mean, Asuka's doing it. She's also doing promos in Japanese.
They don't have to learn English. They just need to.
I just need to hear them speak. I just need to hear them do something.
It seems simple to you
got to tell a story. You got to
just write a story and tell it through combat and vignettes and things like that. But you got to have characters to do that. And
one of the guys you wanted to talk about before the show was how you felt about Christian Cage.
wow, yeah, I forgot about this guy, Christian Cage.
Is that
Wow.
how you feel about Christian Cage?
Well, he's said nary a word, but he's there, and I guess he's like the next competitor for the Kenny Omega's AEW Championship. I don't know.
After Rich Swann.
We don't have to spend too much time on this, but I feel like they could have done infinitely better, and that they maybe overhyped the Christian thing for how they've booked it so far.
I'm gonna say I expected like a CM Punk or a Brock Lesnar. And you guys got to talk about this last week, and I didn't because you guys hadn't finished watching. But I expected something just like massive, and Christian was a big letdown.
Didn't do him a good service.
Didn't do not as much as hype they had put into it. Like Big Scoop's whole first segment on AEW was putting over this new.
Well, that's what I'm
signing.
saying. Like this was my thought. Like the Big Show is a bigger star than Christian, to me.
Exactly.
So I feel like
it's like it was
I
backwards.
feel like they got it
That's rough.
reversed.
Man,
Like,
I got it rough.
like if we wouldn't have known, like when we saw that the Big Show signed on on Twitter, it was like, oh shit. But like, imagine if the Big Show would have showed up and chokeslammed somebody at like AEW Revolution, you know,
Bro.
like that would have been, you know, maybe
I would have popped
maybe
real
have
hard.
Christian show up the way Big Show did, and that would have been like, oh shit, Christian signed with AEW, and you reverse those things or something. But it just hasn't done, you know, Christian a good service so far. I don't know if I want to see him wrestle for the championship. I mean, talk about like showing up from a cake and putting yourself in the main event. Like, what have you done yet, Christian? I mean, this guy is not. He's not the star that they were hyping him up to be. As far as like, I don't know. We talked about it a little bit last week, but it's not hitting for me yet.
Yeah, Christian's one of those guys that is like technically a big star.
Like TNA star. Like
Yeah, like he's everything you would want. Like he's got, you know, he's as big a TNA star as like Kurt Angle could be if you look at like maybe some numbers of it. But like it just doesn't feel that way because he was always the less famous one of Edge and Christian.
Right.
And like we thought he was already retired because WWE had nothing for him. And I was going to argue with you a little bit because I still think that like, you know, they still have time to do stuff with him between now and when Kenny will fight him, because Kenny's got to fight Rich Swann for the Impact title and putting his AEW title on the line. So there's still time to actually turn him into some stuff. But when you said that how much of it would have been a bigger pop if Big Show showed up and chokeslammed somebody, I'd be like, you're right. You're just right. You're just right. Like if they had reversed the way they were being promoted, I would have enjoyed that a lot better.
You guys want to go on to SmackDown?
Let's get that SmackDown
I think we
in.
should definitely talk about SmackDown. That Friday night
start,
program.
baby?
You know, I really liked the show.
Because it didn't start with Roman Reigns. Hallelujah.
It did not. It did not. It started with honesty. I'm degraded. And Edge is he's a cool guy. And here's the thing with SmackDown. This is what we were talking about with is Vince just redoing this whole WrestleMania card from scratch, because I know that like the sign was pointed at and it's Edge and it's Roman Reigns, but like Daniel Bryan and Edge is the story to me. Coming out of this show, I'm like, this is the story I want to see. Edge versus Daniel Bryan. That's what I want to see.
Like when Daniel Bryan said this might be my last WrestleMania, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening here. Could this be like a triple threat, maybe?
It might be, honestly. Paul Heyman's
Yeah,
been
I
talking
thought
a
about that.
lot about Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack. Daniel Bryan was just so fucking fun this entire show.
Oh, he
while
was
we're on it.
great.
Just like, man, him at the contract signing, just having a great fucking time.
Pissing Roman off.
Yes, man, he's dope. And then when he's talking about the last WrestleMania stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, like. And then he kept saying, but I don't know. And he's like, this is last WrestleMania, but I don't know. It might not be. And I'm like, is this his last WrestleMania? It just put that in my thought, in my mind. And I was like, holy fuck. Like,
He wants to be a dad, a full-time dad, not a full-time wrestler.
Man.
And I feel like Daniel Bryan is that kind of purist where he's like, if I make that decision to switch, maybe not retire from wrestling, but not be a full-time guy, then I'm not going to be going for main events at WrestleMania. That's not going to be my thing. This is my last chance to do that as a full-time guy. And at the very least, if all this does is make the Fastlane pay-per-view believable to us, because you have to have a match before WrestleMania, and no one's going to believe that Daniel Bryan's going to win. And if all it does is make me care more about this match, then it's fine. But oh man, I'm coming out of this just loving Daniel Bryan and wanting to see him wrestle Edge. Roman's doing nothing wrong. He's playing this perfectly. But for me, at least on SmackDown, and maybe this is the swerve they're going for, that's the story, was Edge and Daniel Bryan. But I don't know.
I don't know either. I think
Put the nail on the head.
I think the stipulation thing at the end was really good. Yeah. I really enjoyed Jey Uso like bringing that up, because I was like, I don't want you to fight Special Enforcer. You're gonna make Roman look like a bitch, and I really don't want you to make him look like a bitch. So no, that sounds dumb. And then Edge came out, and I was like, oh shit! So Edge is gonna be the Special Enforcer of a Daniel Bryan Roman match, which is gonna be amazing. But then I think it's going to set us up for an amazing spear versus spear match at WrestleMania. That's just the order of events that I see currently.
Yeah, I think you're
So
probably
Goldberg's coming back, baby.
That's what I was waiting for.
No. Edge
This
versus
is the
Roman.
triple threat. Spear versus spear
No.
versus spear.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I understand.
Versus-
Rhino's coming back, baby.
No.
Gore.
That's not a spear. That's a gore, okay? Big
That
difference.
is a gore.
I'm fucking dead.
No, I think though, Ariam, that you're probably right, and I think they're just doing a really effective job at building the story right now. And for all we know, maybe Daniel Bryan is in the main event of WrestleMania. We don't know, but maybe it's him versus Roman, and Edge does something else. Who knows? But
I'm really enjoying it, though.
I'm really enjoying it too. The end of the show was great, just like AEW. It was just I was just very excited in a childlike way when all of this was unfolding. What else on SmackDown?
How'd you feel about the Michael Jordan of wrestling
Versus LeBron of wrestling.
versus the LeBron of wrestling? I was like, is Charlotte Larry Bird or
No, she's Bill Russell.
Bill Russell? Okay,
Yeah, I think
Bill
Becky
Russell.
Lynch would be Larry Bird. Just like that.
Okay,
like the
that's
Irish
true. That's
connection,
true.
You know,
True. Okay.
There you go.
Celtics
There you
are kind of an Irish team.
Oh my gosh.
It's nice. It's really good.
Yeah, thank you. We could play this game all day.
Well played.
I remember JB was saying before on pre-show that he's not really liking this Sasha, but I really enjoyed this like feud. Like I'm loving this feud right now. I love Bianca like being mad after the match. She's like, Sasha, I don't lose. Like I just love the shit that she's talking.
But she does.
And I was enjoying Sasha too. Like I'm really interested for you to like, put me on to something that maybe like is missing in Sasha, right? Words right now.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not liking the point of view that Sasha is coming from. It feels very Mella to me. And I talked about this in the Mella feud, like they're playing the same character, but Sasha plays it better. Now it seems like Sasha's playing Mella's character. I've never known Sasha Banks to be worried about boys having crushes on her. I've never known Sasha Banks to be into her own body like that. Like it's weird. I thought she was into kicking people's ass and like dominating in that way, not being a model and being looked at. And it's just kind of weird to hear her coming like that. Like, I can't help that Reginald has a crush on me. What is this cadence you're doing either? I've never heard you talk like that either. What is going on? It's like it's like she's playing a weird parody of herself. You know what I mean? Like, this is me being Sasha Banks being too cocky instead of just being Sasha Banks being too cocky. It's just something about it's just not working for me. Now, I think Bianca's playing it right down the middle. Very white meat baby face. Very, like, I'm gonna overcome this. I'm doing this to wrap my own legacy, and like, she's doing it right. But I just don't like the energy coming that she's having to respond to, and I really don't like that she's eating pins from Tamina. Nope.
It just doesn't feel right.
Nope.
I in the notes I wrote Reginald distraction. I was like, just so everyone's clear, she got pinned, not clean at all.
But she got pinned.
But she did get pinned, and I was like, what the fuck?
What the actual fuck? Reginald can distract all the live long day. Doesn't have to eat the pin.
Not from Tamina.
She can be distracted and then kick out and then win and be like, this mother distracted me. Like, you don't.
I think one thing it does.
She's the EST. It should make her that angry that she even came close to losing based on a distraction to Tamina.
I would love that. I don't think that is. I think that would be lighter than they probably wanted it to be. Because I was mad that Bianca lost or that she took a pin. But I think as far as storyline goes, because the story is not about Bianca taking a pin to Tamina, it's about Bianca needing a reason to be mad at Sasha when they're vibing so fucking hard. Like it's been Black Girl Magic up until this point where they're talking about the history of the WrestleMania match, but they need to actually add some fire to this feud. And Bianca being pinned by Tamina, I think that means something to Bianca, and she's like, Sasha, you fucked me up. I'm about to take my shit out on you. If you don't get your shit together.
I mean, that's the story they're going to have to tell now that they've pinned her. But, you don't pin Royal Rumble winners. You protect them. You just protect them.
I don't think the story that they're going to tell. I think that's the story they're telling. And
they have to tell it now.
The dialogue after, I think that's exactly what they're trying to do.
For me, this is like when they had Thatcher tap. You've missed the point.
There's a certain level of protection that certain characters need to keep that character going.
It's not true when it's not a clean finish.
I mean,
you're right in the wrestling logic that in their world that does make sense, but to me it just doesn't look right when you're like in the same context of like a Bobby Lashley. He wouldn't take a pin in that kind of way because they're protecting him in that kind of way. Like he's in a different echelon. He's in a different tier. That's
why they had John Morrison in the match for Riddle to pin,
right.
Because Bobby Lashley doesn't take pins. They didn't have Lucha House Party run through and distract Bobby Lashley. Like, oh, distraction. No, you protect Bobby Lashley because you got big plans for him.
I think they did protect Bianca.
But they didn't protect her enough.
Right.
They needed more protection. You don't let her shoulders hit the mat unless it's Sasha doing it.
But then she has no fire to go into the feud with. And you would just say that she almost got pinned. And now she's mad at Sasha.
That's enough.
That's not enough.
I personally think that's enough. Or just, what the fuck? There's a million other ways to piss her off. Like, Sasha's been being a dick to her the entire time, which I'm not liking the flavor of it, but Sasha is being a dick. So, there's a lot of ways you can go with this. You don't ever pin your Royal Rumble winner until WrestleMania. I think
it was a good call when it wasn't clean.
I see both points. I'm kind of.
And that's coming from a Bianca fan, a huge Bianca fan. Made sense to me.
Yeah, I just didn't like to see it. And then you have Tamina's music playing as this whole thing unfolds post match, and it's like it could be it's like 0% about Tamina at this point, even though she is the one who won the match technically, and music is playing. The camera is not on her. Like, Tamina and Natty are on opposite sides of the ring. The camera is cutting them off entirely, looking at Reginald, Shayna, and Nia staring down Sasha and the EST and her. It's so awkward. Nobody Tamina's music is playing the whole time. It's just very sad. Why is this happening? She shouldn't be pinning Bianca Belair, but it's 2 against 1. You lose, Aram. Just kidding.
Aaron, fuck, hey, I ain't fighting Aaron. You gonna fight him by yourself, so it's gonna be a win.
No, I'm not. No.
No, go ahead, get him,
Ever
Aaron.
since
Get him.
I saw
Get him.
those glasses come off, it was an energy that I'm not.
I think we all win at the end of the day.
It's very true.
Gonna be
We're
a great,
smoking
it's going to
weed
be a
talking
great
about
match.
wrestling, and,
These are 2 women that are just like really paving the way in wrestling right now.
Oh
So
yeah.
sit back
Yeah, but I'm
and
still
enjoy
trying
the
to see
story,
boxing matches.
or don't. And
I do like the tease of them
skip it
going
for
into
30 minutes of
WrestleMania as
WrestleMania.
tag team champions and then having to wrestle that night. That'd be kind of cool.
We'll see.
If that happens, that's really gonna make me think this storyline was meant for Bailey in some weird way. Because what the fuck is Bailey doing?
Yeah. This
Treading water, but in the best way.
Hello, ding dong. That's what she's doing.
She's amazing. She's hilarious. Every time she's on screen, I comment on her on our show. She's still doing great.
I feel like she could be doing Ding Dong Hello and doing matches too. But God bless her. She could probably use the break.
Yeah,
Absolutely. They're telling a lot of stories right now, though.
it's true. Yeah. It's very true.
They're telling Sasha Bianca. They're telling Big E Apollo. They're telling Roman Edge. There's a lot of shit going on right now.
There's things shaping up, and yet there's still mystery and intrigue, which is about the mix that we should be at right now.
Why don't you throw Bailey over Raw and give poor Rhea Ripley something to do? Like is she ever gonna debut? Wasn't she supposed to debut this week?
They've been doing vignettes for her. Where is she?
Wasn't it this week she was supposed to debut?
You're right.
She's probably gonna eat Asuka, but Asuka's gone.
Yeah. There's just no.
Don't
Asuka
bring it
on
up.
Bailey.
Let it go. I'm sad. Asuka's gonna come back only to lose the belt. You know how sad us Asuka
down.
fans are right now?
Just stay down. Stay down, Asuka.
Yeah, just stay down. Let that reign just grow on and on and on.
You got her winning title belts like the Miz, just DQ and running out after
Bro,
Charlotte.
she's gonna get back and lose that belt immediately to someone. Like day of.
Immediately.
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Speaking of returning champions, though, Big E.
Big E's back.
Big E is back.
What do we think
I
of
want to see what
the?
you
that-
thought. What did you think? Because you obviously know I'm a Big E stan.
I thought that was.
He's the fucking man.
I mean, what was I could have done without the entrance with the get up. Whoa, that's kind of too much for me.
I had fun with it.
At first, I thought he was gonna do like the Willy Wonka bit where he would like sell it and then do a little flip or something. I was like, okay, I'll be into that. But then
That would've been better.
He kind of just
That
took
would've been wild.
He kind of just took it off and then like kept limping and then he was just like, ah! I was like, it just didn't.
If I had thought of the Willy Wonka thing, then I also would have.
That would have been a great idea.
As soon as he came out, I thought that's what he was gonna do is like slowly walk up
Fair
and then like
enough.
do the little flip and be like, I'm good. But
I love that.
I would have. Yep, you're
and
right.
I think that's
You're right.
kind
I
of what he
would've-
was going for, but it just didn't connect. And I'm only being nitpicky because Big E's the best and he can do better. But
Fair.
the
I
promo
enjoyed
afterwards-
it, but that's fair. That's fair.
Okay, now the promo. I do want to talk about the promo
Yes.
because the promo had all of those things that I talked about with a Figgy promo, but it did work. I liked it. I've never seen him do it like that, and it did work.
I think so.
Like I really enjoyed this promo, even though it had all of the things that I complain about when Biggie talks to no one in it.
I think
But-
they fixed a lot of those with their like screen. They were
Yeah.
tight on him the entire time.
Very much so.
And I
Yeah.
think it really changed his format of speaking. Because I was trying to peep into that because I remember our conversation about it recently about us about him just having what is it you said called it
Bad
bad
black
black
actor
actor syndrome. Yeah, I was like, oh, let me look for it, and I was like, okay, I can see a couple moments. Also, I'm sure it's weird without crowds, and you got this weird noise just like pumping in, and then sometimes it goes up and
Yeah.
it goes right back down. It's like I feel like that would be some awkward ass shit to work with, but you're right. He's got some of those moments in him.
Yeah, but it definitely worked this week. Like something about it, and
sure.
I think it's the camera. You're right. Like something, even though he did what he normally does, that gets on my nerves a little bit. It worked.
It connected.
So bless
Yeah.
his. He's like, I gotta get biblical on you, man.
I thought the writing was better
I was
too
like,
this
what?
time. The writing was much better.
Yeah, he connected with me on that. I believed him. And
Yeah, I think he said he had to maim him, and I was like, fuck.
mm-hmm.
I will say this about the whole sequence, the whole segment. I I kind of wanted him to squash Sammy, and he didn't, and I guess that probably makes sense. But I don't know. What do y'all think?
It's interesting that you say that because Big E sells too much, a little too much in my opinion, for how big and awesome he is, and I think that's a testament to his respect for his opponents and making them look good. And I love Sami Zayn, so anybody who wants to make him look good is awesome. But I kind of agreed. I was like, I could have gone for like a squash match, a Jace. Shout out to the Cheap Heat podcast who say that all the time. But yeah, it's a Jace, you know. But he got it's Sami Zayn. You know, what are you gonna do?
It's kind of like I feel like I'm making the opposite point of what I was making with the Sasha Banks thing. Like he was protected. Like I said, she wasn't protected enough, and I think he was protected enough, even though he could have been protected more.
Yeah, it didn't bother me that much.
This one I looked at as an example of what you guys were telling me about, like him making the switch. So, like, when he lost his temper, it's that extra gear that he has, opposed to him being dominant at all times, you know. But, you know, I saw that story being told, and I was like, okay, I get it. You know, what I remember mostly about that match is him running through the clothesline when he got good and pissed off. And then it was pretty much a squash match from then over.
You're very right. Yeah.
So, it was 80% squash match, but it could have been 100.
Yeah.
And
I think that's it.
20.
You're right. They definitely could have let Sammy like really go at it, and they didn't. But I just kind of wanted
maybe
him to,
that
like,
extra
fucking
20 would have
eat
made
him.
all the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that extra bit of protection for Big E would have put it over the
That's
edge.
generally what I
true.
I wish they'd do with him. But if it's not, you know, if that's not his character, it's not, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Good
But
point,
then-
good
Yeah,
point.
that was y'all's point. That the thing is, he makes that switch when he gets pissed off.
And he's still fighting from under with Apollo. Like you really think after how vicious he got taken out last time that like we're gonna watch this babyface get his comeuppance, but the way they're building Apollo is pretty impressive. And I'm really happy for Apollo Crews. This is a guy who I've been a fan of since, you know, Breaking Ground era the reality show about NXT before it was even a TV show. And this guy just has all the talent in the world. And I listened to a great interview with Big E on the Cheap Heat podcast where he was putting over Apollo in the sense that like this could have been a guy who could have been written off TV and furloughed at the beginning of pandemic. Like he's just could have been easily one of those guys, but he finally got a chance to do something different. And the people who complain about the accent and shit, it's just so stupid. Like you're watching a show. These are characters. He's playing a character. Like I wish that my only complaint is that I wish he'd go further. Like I wish he'd change his name. I wish he'd change his music. Let's go full into it. But I'm really excited. I mean, I hope they take this all the way to Mania.
I think did he not have new music tonight?
I think he did.
I mean they
and new graphics.
they remixed
Okay,
it a little
remixed
bit,
it.
but
Okay.
it's still kind of that like synthesizer kind of
Thing is, I
baby
didn't know what his
face
old music was.
hip hop generic synthesizer. It wasn't that good in the first place.
No, that's true. That's true.
So yeah, it just needs to match the character a little bit more. But
I didn't know there was a remix. I thought it had. I thought the first one didn't have words and this one had words. So I thought it was a completely different song. But maybe I've just been missing.
and
it.
I kind of missed his guards. Like let's be a real heel. Like we already know you're vicious. Like let's have the guards help a little bit just to
would've been great.
just to protect Big E that extra 20% or whatever. Like Apollo needed a little bit of help to get Big E truly down. Like it's a nitpicky thing, but I'm excited about the storyline between these two.
No, I had a nitpicky thing about it too, and I had a question actually, but I think I already know your answers. I was like, I didn't think this made Apollo look great. Like I kind of wanted to see him like actually answer Big E's like call, but then he didn't, and I was like, okay, it makes sense because it's gonna be a money match. They want it to be like on the pay-per-view, like wait on it. But I was just like, do you mean you're just like sitting in the back and just like he's calling your ass out, but then you just like he like comes out at the end, like, so I guess he's just smart,
Yeah, I think it for me it just read as smart because
Okay.
like
Right time.
I don't think anybody on earth wanted a piece of Big E after that promo.
Exactly.
Like anybody who walked out there,
Okay.
Roman Reigns would have gotten ran through in this moment. Like, you know what, brother? Not today.
Yep.
Not
That's a good point. That did not think about like how aggressive he was and how
he was fuming mad in
Yeah.
a way that he'd never been before. I'm like, nah, brother. You too mad for me to come talk to
That's
you.
a good point.
Right.
Anybody who went out there is stupid. That's why it was Sami Zayn.
Good.
His
Well, then
bare
good.
hands.
I'm glad that Apollo still looks good because I really do
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah. He's crazy, but he ain't that crazy.
Right. Right.
I hear that.
Good stuff.
No.
I wanted to talk about I wanted to ask you how you feel about the Reginald thing.
Oh God.
The segment. I was watching it and I was like,
This is the main event of the 420 Wrestling Hour this week.
This is it. This is what you've been
Reginald.
waiting for. This is
I think that this is like what people watch like when they watch like Total Bellas. Like this is this kind of a thing.
This is
And I was like, it's not bad. It's just not for me.
I kind of, you know what I mean? And like, I really wish, and this might have to be our next guest. You know, we have to get a woman's perspective on this.
Yes.
I wanted to show my wife that segment. And see
Yeah,
what she
I
thought
actually,
about it.
I
I
would
literally
love to
wanted
do
to
that.
hear like
I would love
how
to do
I was
that.
like, I wonder if JB's wife really liked this because she liked the wedding segment, right?
Yeah. So like she was, you know, we've been busy this week with some stuff, but she didn't get a chance to look at it. But man, I haven't deleted the SmackDown, so maybe I'll come back with you next week on that because I kind of think she would have dug it.
I think so. I
I
mean, like
really do.
just from like the thread that I've been hearing.
Yeah. It's,
And I'm just gonna go out on a wild limb and just say, you know what, that one's for the ladies.
it could be.
That one's for the ladies. That
might
was
have been.
just pure one for the ladies who are half the viewing audience, and they deserve some love.
No
too.
doubt. I'm not mad about it at all. I wasn't really about the try-on scene. It was just like, it wasn't funny enough to keep my attention.
Right.
But I could see that it was kind of like it's like comfort viewing. Like if you know
Yeah.
if that's kind of on in the background and that's what they're going for, that kind of like say yes to the dress aesthetic or whatever, just like reality
Right.
show background. It kind of had that vibe, and you almost when Nia's like wearing street clothes and like jeans and shit, you almost feel like you're watching Total Divas. It's like
Yeah.
Like, you know, not at the risk of male gazing this, like, you know, you got to have something for the girlfriends who are forced to sit on the couch
Yeah.
next to the people and watch
And I
it.
think it's good that it's Nia because my girlfriend Nia's her favorite. Anytime she's watching, she's like, Nia's my favorite. She's beautiful.
You
Look
wanna
at
know what's
Nia.
funny?
Oh my God, look at her. She looks real. She's
love that.
beautiful. Like,
My wife got less into Nia the more she got into wrestling.
wow, interesting.
She came in as a big Nia fan, and the more she's watched Nia, it's like, why does Nia suck? I really want Nia to be good. Why is she hurting people? Stop hurting people,
Oh,
Nia.
yeah, that makes
Why
sense.
are your she's the more she got invested in how good wrestling could actually be, the
Yes.
less patience
Well, that's
she
what I
had
tell
with
my.
Nia.
That's what I tell mine. I'm just like, listen, she's. I'm not saying anything bad about Nia. She's very likable. I like her as a. I like watching her on screen. I like her off screen as a person.
Mm-hmm.
But I just her reputation as not as a safe worker. She's not as good of her wrestling matches aren't entertaining, and most of these shows are about wrestling. So
But there is an innate connection she has with the viewing audience, you know,
yes.
like, and when they can lean into that, it can work. I believe
they must have some sort of intel numbers wise on Reggie because he's on both shows. He's spanning the universe. He's and he's also a very watchable, likable guy. So I don't know. What's the deal here? Like he came in as a Carmella guy. Carmella seems to just be floating in the abyss, and now Reginald loves Sasha. Yes, JB Bad is swimming with Lamont and Remington, left and right nipple, in the wrestling abyss with Carmella and so many others.
Alistair. Hi, Alistair Black.
What are you
How
doing here?
Andrade. Bo Dallas, the king of this place. Shall I kneel?
This is amazing.
What?
Oh, what a good bit. What a good bit. What the hell? Oh my God, King Dallas.
I believe in you.
He's like, here, everybody believes in the abyss. Oh my God.
B team, go, go, go.
Was that the week in wrestling, baby?
I think that was the week.
I think that was
Oh
it.
my gosh.
My God, and what a week it was.
Oh, that's amazing.
Looking forward to the next one, players.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We got some good stuff to look forward to. We are fully on the road to WrestleMania. We'll have a lot more coverage. At 420, Wrestle Hour. Pack your bowls and listen to the show. That's going to come out very soon. And you're listening to it. You just listened to it. And it was
You
great.
just did it. A commercial for a show you just listened to. This is why they stop doing jingles in the shows, because like you're entirely too high for this. Good night, everybody.
Peace out, y'all.
Smoke you
Join
later. Shane O'Mac.